Nobody wants to get injured, specifically during this Super Bowl. But hey, it happens.
Wide open, Brandin cooks, and he gets smacked down at the 40-yard line, taking some shot.
Like any sport, injuries are simply part of football. Unfortunately, there have been several unforgettable instances where an NFL player suffered a gruesome injury during the big game. Here are the 10 worst Super Bowl injuries ever. Tim KRUMRIE'S leg fracture. Super Bowl 23. This one was nasty and very sad to see. Tim spent his entire career with the Cincinnati Bengals, which spanned from 1983 to 94. He had arguably his best season in 1988, earning Pro Bowl and first-team All-Pro nods. He was a key cog on the Bengals' fierce front seven. That unit helped them reach Super Bowl 23, where they took on Joe Montana's San Francisco 49ers. You know, the same team who beat the Bengals in Super Bowl 16 7 years earlier. In the first quarter, he suffered a gruesome leg injury during a tackle attempt on Roger Craig. He had to be stretched off and taken out of the game, having suffered tibia and fibula fractures. Despite the brutality of the injury and the urgent need for medical care, he was insistent on watching the game on TV from the locker room. After being warned that he could go into shock, he finally agreed to go to the hospital. Fortunately, it wasn't career-ending. He made a full recovery and never missed another game throughout the remainder of his career. But it was a brutal and horrific injury to witness. And considering that the Bengals only lost by 4, yeah, he could have totally made a difference in the game. Jeremy Lane's broken arm and ACL tear. Super Bowl 49. The New England Patriots were on the verge of opening the scoring in Super Bowl 49 against the defending champion Seattle Seahawks. But Jeremy Lane had other ideas. On 3rd and 6 inside the red zone, Tom Brady threw a pass that was picked off by Lane at the goal line. On the return, Lane was tackled by Julian Edelman, but while going to the ground, he suffered both a broken arm and a torn ACL. Lane would not return to the game, obviously. And his replacement, Harold Simon, had a rough time filling the void. That's to say the very least. He allowed 2 touchdowns in coverage, including the game winner to Edelman. Lane's injury proved to be a massive loss for the Seahawks. Without Lane to worry about, Brady had a field day against the Seattle secondary. Steve Wallace's broken fibula. Super Bowl 23. Tim's leg fracture before wasn't the only horrific injury suffered in Super Bowl 23. San Francisco 49ers offensive lineman Steve Wallace was also lost to injury early in the game. Montana took a hit from a Bengals defender, and the quarterback fell into the leg of his star offensive lineman. The 6'4", 285-pound Wallace went down immediately and had to be carted off the field. He would not return, and it was later announced that he suffered a broken left fibula. Thankfully, it didn't hamper his career in the slightest. Wallace returned in 1989 and helped the 49ers repeat as Super Bowl champions. The 2-time second-team All-Pro would win a 3rd ring with the 49ers in the 1994 season, with Steve Young anchoring the offense. Jake Ballard's ACL tear. Super Bowl 46. Ballard was the hero in the New York Giants' Week 9 2011 regular season win at Foxborough against the Patriots. He caught the game-winning touchdown pass and hoped to play another big role when the two teams met again 3 months later in Super Bowl 46. Unfortunately, it was not meant to be, as Ballard's night came to an early end in the 4th quarter after manning 7-yard completion to Victor Cruz, as he suffered a torn ACL in his left knee on the play. That left the G-men with 1 tight end the rest of the night. However, Eli once again came through late in the game, and the New York defense put the clamps on Brady in a 21-17 victory. Ballard's ACL tear forced him to miss the entire 2021 season. He joined the Arizona Cardinals midway through the 2013 campaign and opted to retire before the 2014 season. Ballard stated that his body wasn't the same after the injury and emphasized that he wanted to have a high quality of life after his playing career. Cliff Avrill's concussion. Super Bowl 49. Everybody knew that the Legion of Boom was banged up and not at full strength, but the injuries would only get worse throughout the game. After Jeremy Lane's aforementioned injury in the first quarter, the Seattle defense suffered another major blow. Pass rushing standout Cliff Averill suffered a concussion in the 3rd and did not return. Without Averill, Seattle's pass rush was non-existent in the second half. Needless to say, he was dearly missed. Most people just blame Seattle's play call, but it's fair to guess that the game would have had a different outcome if Lane and Averill were healthy.
And after the wackiest lead-up to a Super Bowl ever, the Seattle Seahawks are the NFL champions.
Charles Woodson's fractured collarbone. Super Bowl 45. Charles Woodson waited a long time to get back to the Super Bowl. The Tuck Rule game was the first truly painful loss of his tenure with the Oakland Raiders. A year later, they were blown out by John Gruden's Tampa Bay Buccaneers in Super Bowl 37. Woodson signed with the Green Bay Packers in 2006, and his decision paid off big time. The Pack returned to the Super Bowl in the 2010 season, coming face to face with the Pittsburgh Steelers. Sadly, Woodson's long-awaited return to the big game wound up being briefer than he had hoped. Late in the second quarter, Woodson defended against Mike Wallace on a deep pass that fell incomplete. On the play, the Hall of Fame corner fell to the ground and suffered a fractured collarbone. Green Bay had to call timeout and take Woodson out of the game. It was one of several injuries to the Packers in the big game. They also lost Sam Shields and star wideout Donald Driver during that contest. Unable to continue playing, Woodson gave his team an inspirational halftime speech, and the motivated Packers held down the fort from there, winning 31-25 and giving Woodson the long-awaited first and only championship ring of his career. Shannon Sharpe's torn MCL, Super Bowl 33, leading up to Super Bowl 33 between his Denver Broncos and Atlanta Falcons. Shannon Sharpe delivered some epic trash talk towards Ray Buchanan. Atlanta's all-pro cornerback called out Sharpe and said he looked like a horse. The renowned trash-talking tight end fired back.
You said some bad things about me? What do you say?
I said you look like a horse.
Oh, now I know he ain't talking with them big teeth in his mouth. I've never called anybody ugly. Do I think people are ugly? Yeah, I think he's ugly, but I never said that. You just did. He started it. Is he my friend? No. Did I ever view him as a friend? No. Did I ever view him as an acquaintance? No. Do I like him? No. If I see him in a snowstorm, his truck is broke down, mine is going perfectly. Would I pick him up? No.
Other than that?
Other than that, I could care less about Ray Buchanan.
I remember this clip. I love this clip. Naturally, Sharpe vs. Buchanan was a top headline entering Super Bowl 33. How would John Elway in the passing game hold up against the Buchanan-led Atlanta secondary? Unfortunately, we wouldn't get to see much of Sharpe vs. Buchanan on the field. The former tore the MCL in his left knee in the first quarter after taking a catch down to the 1-yard line. Sharpe's catch set up Denver's first touchdown of the game, a Howard Griffith rushing score, although Sharpe would not return to the game. The Broncos offense fared just fine without him, cruising to a 34-19 victory. Brandin Cooks' concussion, Super Bowl 52. Cooks joined the Patriots in a 2017 blockbuster trade with the New Orleans Saints. He became a vital piece of their offense, racking up 65 catches for 1,082 yards and 7 touchdowns. Cooks' efforts helped the Patriots reach Super Bowl 52, where they took on Nick Foles and the underdog Philadelphia Eagles. Unfortunately for Cooks, his first ever appearance in the big game was cut short. Early in the second quarter, he was taken out on a hit from Eagles safety Malcolm Jenkins after making a 23-yard catch. It was a clean hit by Jenkins that did not draw a penalty flag, and rightfully so. But it was a brutal hit nonetheless, as it knocked Cooks out cold. Thankfully, Cooks was able to get up on his own and walk to the locker room. However, he suffered a concussion, obviously, and had to miss the remainder of the game. The Patriots lost a high-scoring thriller 41-33, so you can't help but wonder whether the outcome of this game could have been different had Cooks been healthy. Patrick Chung's broken arm, Super Bowl 53. The longtime and well-respected Patriots veteran safety was a key part of the team's Super Bowl 49 and 51 championship teams. Chung's efforts helped the Patriots reach a third straight Super Bowl in the 2019 season, where they met the Los Angeles Rams. But Chung, sadly, wouldn't be part of that tight, nerve-wracking second half for long. That's because early in the third quarter, he suffered a bad arm injury while trying to bring down Rams running back Todd Gurley. Chung's right arm had to be put in a sling, and he was taken to the locker room and didn't return. The mentally tough and battle-tested Patriots held on for a 13-3 win against the Rams, claiming their 6th and final Lombardi trophy of the Tom Brady era. Leslie Frazier's fractured leg, Super Bowl 20, long before he became head coach of the Minnesota Vikings, as well as one of the game's best defensive coordinators. Leslie Frazier was a standout cornerback and occasional special teams returner for the Chicago Bears. Yes, Frazier was on the legendary '85 Bears team that bullied their opponents en route to the franchise's first Super Bowl championship. The big victory also sadly marked the final game of his playing career. In the second quarter, the Bears forced a Patriots punt. Return man Keith Ortego called for a fair catch, but handed the ball over to Frazier anyway in a trick play. That was obviously an illegal action which drew a flag, but there was a far worse outcome than that, as Frazier suffered a brutal knee injury on the play. He was down on the ground for a few minutes and needed help getting off the field. Nobody knew it then and there, but this was the last down of Frazier's promising career. It was later revealed that Frazier suffered a torn ACL and MCL and required reconstructive knee surgery, which ultimately led to the end of his playing days. He later stated the injury was so bad that he couldn't even manage to get back his range of motion following the surgery. It was a sad end to a potential Hall of Fame career. In 5 seasons with the Bears, Frazier racked up 20 interceptions. He was one of the game's premier ball hawkers, and who knows how many more rings the Bears could have won if they had him for those remaining years of the Mike Ditka era. What are some other brutal Super Bowl injuries that you remember? Join me in the comment section below. Make sure to follow myself and TPS on social media. We post great content all the time. Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, YouTube, we're on everything. Go subscribe, go follow. If you like this video, give it a like. It takes one click down below, and subscribe to TPS. We post videos every day. Every day's a new video. Of course, thank you so much for watching. I'm Jason Biondo. I'll see you next time.
On my knees.